The boletes will deteriorate really quickly. I especially learned this in Arizona because you're going up picking 9,000-10,000 feet. I'd come back home to lower elevation, and just even in the car and even in a cooler, as the temperatures increase, the insect activity, the fungus gnats the boletes are known for, get very active. So cleaning, don't really want to wash them with water. You want to just get the dirt off as quickly and efficiently as you can. If you start washing with water, they just start absorbing that water, and then you've got to re-dry that out. Great thing about the Montana porcini and the snowmelt activity is they seem to be very dry by the time that they're at their best quality. So you want to use air more than heat to dry. Don't really want to put them in your oven unless you just don't have any other choice. Luckily I have a big greenhouse that's contained, gets hot, and have lots of fans. In summertime in Montana, especially by July, it's usually pretty dry, low humidities. Any kind of screens you can find, it's a good way to use up old window screens that might be laying around on your property or someone you know's property. Slice them up. You'll notice that these have a much prettier color than ones that you buy at the store. You can't buy this quality at the store. And many of the porcini you find at Whole Foods or natural grocers, they're not Boletus edulis. There's some other bolete that probably comes from Asia. Also, all big boletes, after about a year, they all start to get this tangy, smoky flavor, which some people say they enjoy, but that's not this white, nutty beauty. So these are, the stuff I'm picking up here is about half dried. Kind of put them out, get about, gauge by looking at it, 30 to 60% of the moisture out where they're still flexible, but they're still wet. They still have some weight to them. And I learned a couple of years ago to preserve this method using vinegar. It's not really pickling. Essentially what you're trying to do is acidify the mushrooms so that will preserve them. I learned this method from Hank Shaw. He's a great outdoor chef and has a lot of books. Buck Moose. He has various vlogs and blogs. I look at his recipes often, and then I end up not following him very much, but he gives me the confidence to kind of go ahead and do my own thing. So here I'm using good quality white vinegar, 1/2, about 7%, and then good spring water. Boiling it. Get your setup there, get your colander, something to drain, some old towels. Let the vinegar water get hot, and then put those half-dried slices inside. Push them down in there. They'll start bubbling a lot, and you can kind of tell when they're like done. The texture changes, and they almost become like meat. I've been doing this process for a couple of years now, and they last, I'd say, at least 6 months in the refrigerator. You do have to refrigerate them. This isn't a pressure cooker, long-term temperature, room temperature storage method. This is for the refrigerator. But great thing about it, there's really no waste. You put them in oil. You'll see later as I get them acidified and cooked in the vinegar water, I'll put them in oil. And what's happening now is this vinegar water is getting infused with these fresh, top quality grade A porcini. So you get your infused vinegar that then you can use for salads or meats or sauces or, variety of possibilities with your porcini infused vinegar. Depending on the amount of mushrooms you have, as you go along, your vinegar water will start cooking down. So you may have to add some more, but I end up just using one pot. So at the end, all my porcini infused vinegar is in one container. You can kind of smush it like that, get some of the excess back in, but there usually isn't much. You can actually see viscosity forming in the vinegar now. It's almost getting this syrupy texture, which is truly divine. I'm sure it's some use in French cooking or existed before. So here I'm at the end and I'm straining it a bit, getting the bigger pieces out. Got my funnel, got my cool, unusual bottle. Another reason to keep old bottles or wine bottles with corks. And look at that. That's just from fresh porcini. So now after I've got my mushrooms all cooked in the vinegar water, you can also hold off for a couple of days if you're busy or have something else to do. They'll keep in the fridge for a while. Whatever oil you like, butter would be good too. And then start sauteing them. You're not really cooking them that much. You're really just trying to get the oil in, put a little wine, get the garlic, salt, pepper, whatever else you like. Went out to the garden, got some chives. I don't put many spices or herbs in my mushroom mixes because I really want to taste the mushrooms, and it's such a treat to have these fresh. Sometimes a little thyme. Plus you can always add things you want to dishes that you're going to use these mushrooms in. These can be put in meat dishes, egg dishes. They're great for hors d'oeuvre trays with cheeses. They're great just to eat alone, sandwiches, some good bread, crackers. It's really fun to take food like this out camping. Little salt, little pepper. So just kind of gonna get all that oil in there, bring it up to temperature. If you want to toast the edges a little bit, that's certainly good. For years I would always eat and serve the porcini fresh grilled. It's nothing like that. Nothing like fresh grilled porcini on the fire, like veal. But I get tired of just drying them, so I tried this the past couple of years, and I have not been disappointed. No matter how much I make, they get eaten. Also great to give as gifts. Find really cool jars like this too. Put it in the jar. You want to kind of compress it down. Also what I've done is go out hunting, get a batch, fill like half that jar, and then next week you go out and find some more. Do the whole process again. Then once they're packed down, put some more oil on it to keep the moisture and oxygen out, like you would store pesto in your refrigerator. And then again, that oil gets infused with the mushrooms. There's no waste. You can just pull some of that oil out sometime if you're sauteing something. I'll have that porcini infused flavor. Here you go. This is like a week later. You see it come back, fill in a jar, went out hunting again, did the same process. Getting more vinegar, more porcini infused oil. I've got some in my fridge now that I've had since July, and they're still just as delicious as ever. Really good with just simple, good quality bread or crackers. Don't really need anything else. There you have it. Give it a try. Send me some questions. I've tried this with other mushrooms. With morels, the same process. I've even tried it with mushrooms that were totally dry, and it works pretty well. But the half-dry method, you get your infused oil and vinegar. Gets a lot better. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy Passionate Forager.